Now, tell me one thing. You mentioned that you are going to intend to use your scientific knowledge to ensure that the last person is benefited. How do you do that?
How did you come about choosing chemistry as your subject in both BSc and MSc? Is your father's influence or your own?
What all taxes come under excise department?
May I come in, sir?
Please come in.
Good morning, sir.
Please be seated.
Thank you, sir.
You are Ananya Rana.
Yes.
So should we call you Ananya?
Ananya, sir.
Ananya.
Yes.
That this might ask easy, right? So could you tell us something about academic journey?
Sir, I first completed my schooling from Dal Singh Public School, Sector 7, Karnal. After that, I did bachelor's in science, which was having subjects of non-medical from Dal Singh College, Karnal, which I completed in 2019. So post that, I attempted joint admission test for MSc and I got admitted into IIT Gandhinagar. And I completed my master's in chemistry in August 2021. And since then, I had been preparing for the civil services.
I've been realizing that you have been a brilliant student all through. Won't the academic fraternity or the scientific community lose such a brilliant person to the civil services?
Sir, I believe that my academic journey is a milestone in my life. But sir, I believe that the academics, the knowledge and the skills that I have gained would be best put to use if I enter the civil services. Sir, I want to help the people who are at the last in the queue. And I would like to introduce whatever knowledge I have gained in the administration in a day-to-day services.
Now, tell me one thing. You mentioned that you are going to put into use your scientific knowledge to ensure that the last person is benefited. How do you do that? How do you go about it?
Sir, regarding my academic knowledge of chemistry, I can use it in administration in variety of fields. So first being that chemistry is utilized in maintaining the pollution level to an optimum amount. Secondly, sir, chemistry also has utilization in preventing the food adulteration. And thirdly, sir, it has also applications in various industries, including that of textile. While dyeing, chemicals are utilized, and many of the textile industries have been accused of promoting pollution by letting the water into the water bodies. So being an administrator, firstly by being administrator in making policies, and secondly, sir, also even if I'm working as a district magistrate, my work would include maintaining the pollution level at the city level.
Now tell me one thing. A lot of money has been spent on the Clean Ganga project or the Clean Yamuna project. What is it that ails the efforts of the government? And what are your solutions to see to it that the Ganga or the Yamuna? I would rather request you to focus on the Yamuna because that is near home.
Yes, sir.
In your case. So why are we not able to clean up the Yamuna? It's back to square one. Politics apart.
So the efforts has been marred by the release of pollutions at the regular basis without the effective implementation of monitoring. So the implementation level is having challenges. For example, sir, in the Yamuna, the ammonia levels are rising to a very high level, and that has also caused the Delhi government to stop its water recycling plant at times. So we need implementation at the very grassroots level. The monitoring has to be very effective and the penalty have to be increased so as to cause a deterrence.
Do you think that in case you go in for mass popularization of what you would like to do in terms of making people aware as to why the Yamuna or the Ganga, in this case Yamuna, should not be polluted? Do you also think in terms of removing the industries, or you think in terms of building a better ways in which whatever effluent is drained out, it should be properly treated? What solutions do you have? You have only been mentioning about monitoring another aspect. You're not been giving us solutions on that count.
Sir, by monitoring, I meant that industries should be held responsible for polluting the water bodies. So by increasing the penalties at the very level of the industries, for example, sir, providing the facility of either by government incentives or by providing deterrence to the industries for not releasing the effluent without treating them. So treatment of the effluents is the first major thing that needs to be provided. Besides that, sir, the awareness about pollution levels has to be inculcated in the society and the people living around that industry. So, for example, we have seen a plant in Vedanta, a plant called Vedanta in Tamil Nadu, has seen protest by people because of the increase in the air pollution. So, it was community efforts that has led to the Vedanta company to measure its pollution levels.
Now, you have also mentioned in your DAF that you are a gold medalist. Obviously, we have already discussed that. You had attended Republic Day Parade 2021 as guest of honor, as a guest of the Honorable PM. What do you want to suggest by that? What do you want to communicate by that?
Sir, I was selected among a group of 50 students across India by the Ministry of Education to witness the Republic Day Parade from the then Rajpath in New Delhi.
What were the essential qualifications for that?
Sir,
How do you think you made into the list of 50 people or 50 students who came to witness the parade?
Sir, the criteria was the academic excellence. Sir, I was the university topper in all the 6 semesters of my bachelor's, and because of that, I was invited by the Ministry of Education.
As also in the gold medal and in MSc also you were the
Yes, sir.
topper
Yes, sir.
in Gandhinagar.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I see. Now tell me the difference that happened in this year's Republic Day Parade vis-a-vis what you witnessed in 2021, or what you witnessed in 2021. Yes.
Sir, 2021 was a COVID year, and the first change was that no external dignitary, foreign dignitary was invited.
Excuse me, I think we are not communicating. I would like you to point out the essential difference between the parade that you witnessed in 2021 vis-a-vis what has been the focus of this year's parade.
Okay, sir. So the major difference was that in 2021 the theme was a general theme representing the diversity of India, while in 2024 we have seen the depiction of Nari Shakti and the indigenization of Indian defense system.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Right, Ananya. How did you come about choosing chemistry as your subject in both BSc and MSc? Is your father's influence or your own choice?
So both of them has been the reason. One of them has been my father's influence. Right from the very starting, I developed an interest in chemistry. And secondly, sir, I have been fascinated by the chemical formulas and the different colors of the chemicals, and that have attracted me towards chemistry.
Which is easier, organic or the other chemistry, inorganic, the physical?
Sir, I believe nothing is easy in chemistry, but I have developed an interest towards physical chemistry, sir.
Okay. Right. Digital literacy. How will you go about enhancing your penetration and people's understanding of digital literacy?
Sir, digital literacy requires the awareness of people regarding the digital devices and as well as the digital platforms. And sir, the major issue which I would like to point out is the accessibility factor in digital literacy. So, especially among the elderly people and the people who are belonging to rural areas.
How would you formalize it?
So, the first thing would be to increase the accessibility of the digital devices, either via government incentives or by providing private-public partnerships. Secondly, sir, I would like to improve upon the language which the digital apps provide. They should be regional languages as well as Hindi, English, and majority of the languages that Indians use. And thirdly, sir, people should also be taught about the digital hygiene, that no unsolicited links has to be clicked on so as to avoid the cyber frauds.
What will be the benefit of digital literacy amongst people? How will it help the country?
So digital literacy has a wide number of applications. Our Government of India is also promoting it via Digital India platforms. For example, the first benefit would be economic. We would be approaching towards a cashless economy, and we have attained it to a greater level till now. Secondly, sir, in terms of decreasing the paper wastage, we would be having digital documents in terms of, for example, sir, we have a DigiBank, DigiLocker platform now. And thirdly, sir, it would also advance the society. For example, there may be people who are living at the remote areas of the country, and they would also be able to access the services.
Okay, good. Recently, during the International Women's Day, there was some demonstration staged by women in Afghanistan, and there were a lot of chaos.
Yes.
What do you think it was all about, and why are women feeling depressed over there and repressed?
So the condition of women in Afghanistan, as pointed by the United Nations also, has been very bad after the takeover of power by Taliban. So the major issue regarding Taliban government is the lack of representation of women in the government. And moreover, sir, their diktats based on certain religious connotations have also created various challenges for the women. They have been barred from public spaces. They have been barred from having access to education, especially at the secondary level, although women are being able to get education till the 6th standards.
Okay, and what else? What else is a restriction?
Sir, also regarding the clothing, they are required to wear complete burqa. And
Okay, so they tried to stage the demonstrations, and what happened to that?
so they were repressed by the Taliban.
All right. And what should international community should do to alleviate this problem and liberate the women a little more?
So the first
Only the recommendation part. It may happen, it may not happen.
So the first step, as the international authority is already taking, is not to recognize the Taliban government, so as to put pressure on it to have an inclusive government and also to have women rights at place. Secondly, sir, India's role, I would like to suggest, is India could engage with people-to-people ties by increasing them and should push for providing the women rights.
Okay. Recently, Israel has been pressing very hard in having more expansion in the West Bank. How is it affecting Palestine, and how is UN citing it?
So United Nations has recently pointed that expansion of the settlements in the Palestinian region is a war crime, and it affects the people's life as well as it is against the human rights. And especially in conditions like today's, wherein both the places are at war, it also enhances the issue of famine. There are also fears of famine that may affect the population. So, sir, I believe that the solution would be a two-state solution, as India has already been pointed out. And the negotiation should begin at the very first place. And US and India both can play a great role in it.
Okay. Recently, Subedar Saab from Manipur was abducted and then released. What is the basic situation over there? Why is it happening time and again? It is the fourth incident which has happened in the last 4 months.
So the major issue which I see in this incident was the lack of trust deficit between people and the administration. And there had been various militant organizations as Arambai Tengol of Métis who have been demonstrating against the army as well as the other paramilitary forces. And sir, I believe that the solution for this lies that negotiations and peace talks should involve all the stakeholders of the society as well as the government, and the more acceptable solution, which is for all the sections of the society, should be reached.
Even the police is being harassed by cookies. So cookies are harassing the police, and military and the Assam Rifles are being harassed or being targeted by the Metis.
Yes, sir.
Why? What is the reason?
So there have been allegations that army, paramilitary as well as police is siding with one section of the society.
Okay, got it. Right. Let me ask you small SRT, situation reaction. Okay.
You have passed out and means gone through that chemistry in a large scale, or you can say in the education you have done. So what are that all chemical composition in that junk food that harms really the children of this country?
So the junk food contains processed food, is a processed food, and it contains various oils like that of hydrogenated vegetation oil, and it also contains a chemical called Ajinomoto, which is also said to be responsible for cancer. And in terms of the creation of mouth-watering food, it is used so as to increase the satiation power of the food.
You have passed out all that school from Dayal Singh. Who is Dayal Singh?
Sardar Dayal Singh Majithia ji was a banker by profession and a philanthropist by his choice. So he has given a large amount of its wealth for the public welfare, He created Tribune Trust. He also created various trusts for establishing public libraries, and the Dayal Singh Trust was created to establish colleges for Dayal Singh in the name of Dayal Singh. One is at Lahore, one is in Delhi, and another is in Karnal.
He was also involved in establishing some of that public sector bank or anything like that?
Yes, sir, in Punjab National Bank.
Oh, thank you. What all taxes come under excise department?
Sir, currently I'm dealing with the excise department, and it majorly deals with alcohol for human consumption under our jurisdiction. So on excise department, we have three kinds of major taxes. First is excise duty on the production of alcohol. Second is the VAT tax on the sale of alcohol. And third is the license fee, sir, which we collect from the licensees in installments across the year.
Suppose you are a superintendent of police in Punjab, in any district, and that liquor smuggling is going on. How can you curb this entire things? Means like that incident which is happening in your district.
So firstly, as the district magistrate of the city, I am required to coordinate with the Deputy Excise and Taxation Commissioner, who is the head of the excise department at that place. Secondly, sir, regarding curbing of the illegal smuggling, I am required to coordinate with the police department so that the border checks are maintained and proper monitoring is maintained. And regarding the tracking of the bottles, Haryana government has recently introduced track and trace system, which places QR codes and barcodes on the cases and the bottles. So that tracking could be also established so as to curb the illegal smuggling.
Namami Gange project, which is one of the key project or program of Government of India. Now the water of Ganga, what chemical you can use to transform this water to a drinking water?
Sir, I'm not specifically aware, but if you allow me, I can.
Yes, go ahead.
Sir, the water of Ganga is polluted because of the organic waste that have been put into. And by checking the level of E. coli, which is a kind of bacteria, we can test that what amount of disinfectant are required. And chlorine could be one which can be utilized for purifying it.
One more question, it's a hypothetical one. You are a district magistrate of your district, and CM has already been arrived for that Republic Day parade. All of a sudden, that stampede is there. What could means the 5 steps you have to take immediately, because both of them are still present in that parade ground.
So may I take few seconds?
Yes.
So first of all, barricading the place so that no more people enter into that area. Secondly, sir, deploying the adequate police force so as to maintain that no antisocial elements create certain rumors which can enhance the stampede. Thirdly, sir, I would request the Chief Minister to make an announcement through his mic that to maintain calm and composure, because a leader's advice would be more effective rather than being provided by someone at a lower level, and that would calm the people. And fourthly, sir, I would also make an effort from my side so as to make sure that no untoward incident occurs. If there had been certain people who have been injured, I would like to take them to the hospital at the very initiative.
My next question in continuation with that, sir also has asked about the literacy, digital literacy. Do you believe that India's literacy can be changed by a digital literacy? If yes, then how can?
Sir, I'm quite optimistic that literacy rate of India can be increased by digital literacy. So there had been large number of government programs, including that of PMG Disha, which is regarding digital literacy. And sir, even during the COVID-19, we have seen that various digital platforms have provided, in complement to the physical training, physical education, have completed the requirements of education. For example, sir, PM Bani, which is a channel by the Government of India. There are also other initiatives which have helped the children stay in touch with the education.
One more question related to, suppose if you are a district magistrate and your area is under that scarcity of drinking water,
Yes.
and you have informed to your divisional commissioner and as well as the secretariat or maybe the higher authority, all the media are against you, writing against you. People are gathering in front of your office and they have slogan against you. What are the, how can you, this problem you can solve?
So may I take few seconds?
Yes.
So my first action would be to calm down the people by establishing the public trust in them, by providing them the different steps which the administration is taking care of. Secondly, sir, I would coordinate with various civil society organizations or NGOs for having water accessibility through various tanks. Thirdly, sir, I would coordinate with the higher authorities, including that of state government, to provide water in my district if there is surplus in some nearby district. And fourthly, sir, I would take the long-term steps for improving upon the drought conditions in my own area by having water management techniques.
My last question to you, what is the difference between natural henna and synthetic henna?
So natural henna and synthetic henna differs in their composition of chemicals. The natural henna contains a natural chemical called lawson, which interacts with the keratin of the skin and gives color. But the synthetic henna contains a chemical called PDP, which is highly harmful to the body and causes allergies. It has also led to the bursting of the blood vessels in some people too.
Thank you, sir. That's all.
Well, Ananya, first of all, let me compliment you. You've done exceedingly well, and your power of expression has been really good. You were eloquent, clear, concise in whatever you said, and you are, I would say, rather updated with the current affairs and general awareness, what is happening around, national, international, both. And your presence of mind has been of a very high order. This is what I observed about you. But I would advise you to wear a sari for interview,
Yes, sir,
if you
I'll
think
do.
it's okay for you.
Yes, sir, I'll do so.
And it could be a plain, simple sari with a little border.
Yes,
And that is if you can carry it properly.
yes, sir, I'll do.
Okay, thank you.
The only advice I can say is your eye movement. It should be from person. Once the person will ask, or the board members will ask, simply connect with the only with same person. So it should be like sometimes in between, keep that eye contact to the other persons also. That's it.
A couple of observations. When you entered the room, I think you started wishing there, or you started wishing, and the chairman came last. No ego issues, but generally speaking, until and unless the chairman is looking somewhere around, then you start wishing the other way around.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, normally you wish the chairman,
Yes, sir.
and then you just nod to the other people, yeah.
Yes, sir.
And if there's a lady there, obviously the lady already deserves the priority, so she needs to be wished first. Now this is number one. Number two, about dress, etc., they have already mentioned. Now there are a couple of other issues. In fact, you've been a very brilliant student, right? I would just ask you certain personal questions,
Yes.
personal, especially about the performance. How did you fare in your interview in the Haryana Civil Services? How much marks did you get? What the percentage of marks? And where did you get the first 10 percentile, the first which percentile were you there?
Sir, I cannot calculate the percentage right now.
But just give us an idea. You performed very well,
Sir,
and you to get marks as per your performance. What you thought about it?
sir, the examination was of 75 marks, and the highest given were 54 something, 54 point something.
How many did you get?
And I got 48, sir.
48, so 54. So that you are on the top bracket now. This number one, and from that I essentially want that you should perform outstandingly, brilliantly in the interview in the civil services. Is it going to be a first interview?
Yes, sir.
It's a first interview. Now, in order to when is the interview, by the way?
Sir, on 8th of April.
8th of April. So still you have a bit of time. Aaj kya tarikh hai?
10th.
10th. So you almost have a month, in fact. See, the challenge lies whatever you have already performed in the written test, and the die has already been cast.
Yes, sir.
So the differentiating factor would be the interview.
Yes.
And let's be categorically clear about it now. From your DF and from your performance and a gold medalist and everywhere, I'm very confident that you would have got good marks in the written papers also. You should have secured good marks in interview. Now the issue is how to increase your percentage of marks in the interview. In fact, first of all, I asked you certain questions because and this is an anticipated question. Such a brilliant background, and then all of a sudden you're switching over to civil services. And if I analyze your from a DA, that starts after you have completed the entire thing. You're not actually initially inclined to go in for civil services, but all of a sudden you realize that it's high time you go in for civil services. If I see the age analysis, in fact, I may be wrong also, but let's, because this is 26th year, if I'm not mistaken. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Right. So fairly old to get into the civil service. In fact, I always expect 22, 23 and all that. So now you should be very, very clear why I'm making the analysis. Your answers as to why you want to join the civil service had not been very satisfying.
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to give you a cut and dried answer. You can always analyze how to go about it, what to speak and what not to speak. And now this is number one. Because see, ultimately every job has its own challenges. Yes. Civil service has also its own challenges. Yes. And if there's a distinct preference for a civil service, then you should also be very, very clear as to why the civil services. Yes. Why this, and in your case it becomes much more prominent, in fact,
Yes, sir.
And you should be extremely well prepared for that, yes. Right? Yes. Then I'll tell you how to go about it. This is number one. Number two is your answers, in fact, many of the answers, in fact, you know the topics very well, not an issue at all. But I would rather like your answers to be sharp. Sure. Something like when I started talking to you about the Republic Day, in fact, the moment you mentioned to highlight Nari Shakti, I said that I don't have to ask you. Okay. I know. Sir, aap karo. So you are getting the hint. Yes, sir. The most important issues should be prioritized. Yes, sir. There will be 10 points. Okay, sir. Because see the interview, the people who are sitting over here, they're more keen about knowing what you know. Yes, sir. So why ramble? Why not prioritize? Yes, sir. Make it sharp, huh? Yes. Acha. Thirdly, it was a very interesting thing. In fact, you also, although you are quite attentive, but maybe it was a slip of tongue. All of a sudden, he asked if you were a superintendent of police. He did not ask a district magistrate. So listen to the question very carefully. And the same thing had happened in the question that I asked you about 2021 and 2024. Yes, in fact, 2024. So, and then I had to clarify. Yes. Then I had to clarify. Yes. I hope you appreciate. In fact, I'm more keen about 2024, not about 2021. But there can always be a communication gap. Yes. But keep that in mind. Yes. Keep that in mind. Yes. That until unless specifically being asked for, the people are more keen about knowing what is the present status. Yes. Yes. Then apart from that, there's one question. There was one situational question which was asked by Sir. And he said that if a stampede, and then of course you said that being a leader and the CM, in fact, the CM should be announcing, but CM also becomes the last word. So let the district magistrate or let the superintendent of police or whoever the man in this thing is. Obviously, a credibility has to, because if the CM is attending a certain function, yes. You'll always have the district magistrate, you'll always have the superintendent of police, yes. You will have a DIG or IG or whatever it is. So the man on the job, okay. Sure. The man on the spot becomes very important, yes. And the credibility of the man on the spot is very important, because you see, ultimately he's the CM is the last word. Yes. And if he commits and they may hold him to ransom, nahi sir, ye karo tab hum jayenge, ye karo hum jayenge. Yes, don't allow that. Let him be a court of appeal, yes. rather than be the judge. I hope, sir, I hope you appreciate what I'm trying to say. So that is another area. Then of course, some issues about. I was not very happy about your answer about the cleaning of Ganga, etc. In fact, okay, happy to some extent, but not very happy about it. Okay, because see, the interview board is always interested in candidates who are brilliant. In fact, or candidates who are very, very genuine, coming from very maybe from not a very privileged background, yeah. But still, so they want to encourage. In your case, they would like you. The board would like to encourage you to perform much better, and that is more because of your what you call academic credentials. Let me be fundamentally clear. So they expect a much better performance for you. Then of course there was another issue was about digital. In fact, I was asking you, in fact, how to because you mentioned I'll try to see to it that the last man gets it, and from a person with the background of science, and especially having mentioned that you are also into digital literacy, then they expect that you will be using the technology to ensure. In fact, I mean, slightly I'm talking out of context, in fact, but when I was in government, in fact, and Modi ji, in fact, he had a very brilliant scheme, in fact, he used to call the top guys from the world, like Bill Gates and all the officers of the rank, secretaries and DGs and joint secretary, including his own cabinet, and including the Prime Minister himself in Vigyan Bhavan. He was also sitting not on the dais, but like a Shrota like us, and everybody had to attend. And what Bill Gates said, if India wants to go ahead, it should think digitally, and last mile delivery should be physical. I hope you're able to appreciate,
Yes.
because I'm trying to see things from a DAF, right? So try to understand these, and now I'll tell you how to go about it. Now, you know everything, not an issue at all. आप एक महीना समय है, and you see, you think, and you can. I have to get the highest marks in the interview.
Yes, sir.
Don't think about anything less than the highest,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
आप कुछ नोटबुक निकालो या शीट्स ऑफ पेपर निकाल लो,
Yes.
ठीक है? जितने इंपॉर्टेंट इश्यूज हैं, डैफ से लेकर के इसका है, उसके आप क्या कहते हैं, डिफाइन द इशू, 4-5 स्ट्रॉन्ग फीचर्स, प्रॉस कॉन्स, and way ahead. In fact, there was one question where I also asked you, what is the way ahead? How are you going to, if you recall, how are you going to see to it that this problem is solved? Get my point?
Yes.
So do that work,
Yes.
and I can tell you, I can guarantee you, you'll excel in the interview. But you have to work it like this. You don't have a choice. Or rather, I will not give you a choice,
Okay.
because I want you to perform outstandingly in the interview. Right?
Thank you, sir.
All the best. Now this is from our side. What would you like to ask us?
Sir, regarding the solutions and the way ahead, can I add specific examples that somewhere in this district this was established, so we can also implement it across India? If I have certain best practices.
If you have something, but see, you can't see the time is. Let's be very clear about the time.
Yes.
5 guys in the interview. Sorry, for 5 members in the interview.
Yes, sir.
5 minutes each.
Yes.
25 minutes, at the most 30 minutes. Normally 25 minutes. So don't be too elaborative. But if the situation demands, then of course you go ahead, because see, ultimately you have to be crisp.
Yes.
And the moment the member or the board feels नहीं अपने सब पूछ पाछ लिए जानता है, ठीक है चलो, good, that's all. The best interview may even last for 15 or may last for 18-20 minutes only. It won't even cost 20 minutes. Once they're convinced about you.
Yes. Great.
It's something like the best PhD are the shortest PhDs, in fact,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The great guys have written PhD 28 or 30 pages, and that's all the PhD is all about. Yes. I hope you are able to get the message.
Yes, sir, I am.
So you better imbibe that message. Huh?
Yes.
Right. Thank you so much. Any other question that you'd like to ask us?
Sir, was I too elaborative in some of the answers, or?
That's why I'm asking you to prepare that. Na?
Okay, sir.
एक महीना काफी है, आप पढ़े लिखे हो, you know everything.
Yes, sir.
इसको आप systematize करो, prioritize करो, make it more sharp, and you will reach the moon. Right?
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Thanks a lot. All the best.
Thank you.